Welcome, everyone, to Recovery Rockstar. My name is Melinda White. I'm a person in long-term recovery. What that means to me is I haven't had to use drugs or alcohol since December 28, 2011. I remain extremely grateful for the people that helped me on my journey, the people that loved me until I could learn how to love myself, the people that believed in me until I could learn to believe in myself, and especially grateful to continue being part of the solution and living a lifestyle of love versus a lifestyle of want. I want to put a plug in for Narcan, naloxone. This life-saving drug is available to anybody without a prescription. There are a number of pilot sites in the state of Vermont, so I encourage you to look at the Vermont Health Department's website to find a pilot site near you. Narcan does reverse opioid overdoses, and as many of us know, hopefully everybody knows by now, the numbers are sadly not going down. We've had more fatal drug overdoses this year than we have seen in a very long time. There are also accesses to fentanyl test strips and xylazine test strips. So I encourage people to learn more about where to get those and how to get those. Again, you can go on the health department's website, but unfortunately, we're finding more and more drugs that are being laced with various substances. People aren't knowing what they're using, and the outcome has been horrible for our community, our state, for our world. So I encourage people to educate yourselves on what you can do to be part of the solution, just to know that there's a lot of great resources out there. I also want to put in a quick plug for the recovery centers in the state of Vermont. We have 12 recovery centers. Here in Franklin County, we have the Turning Point of Franklin County, their recovery resource centers. So I encourage people to check out the various resources and just know that anybody struggling with addiction can recover. Any family member wanting to learn more can learn more. So check out your local recovery centers. So on today's episode, I am extremely excited to interview a guest that I don't know super well. So these are my favorite because we get to meet a new person together. But what I do know is that we share two truly bonded things. One is that we're people in recovery, and two, that we're musicians. So first, I want to say, Chris, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me here.
I appreciate that you're willing to share your story with the listeners. And I'm also excited that we got connected through a mutual connection, Andre McCara, who's a musician we both love as well. He united us because of knowing we're in recovery and knowing that we love music. So Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
My first question to you is, tell me a little bit about your life growing up. Like, where were you born? Where did you grow up?
I was born in Florida. My parents divorced at a young age. I was like 1 or 2, so I don't remember that. And luckily, my mom found another man that was a blessing to our family because he took care of us, and I had a very good upbringing. Just did a lot of family events and a lot of friends, family together, a lot of good times. Eventually we moved up from Indiana to Vermont because of his job. He was in the Coast Guard, and then he got an opportunity to be a game warden. So that's, he followed his dreams and made that happen. And, just have a great relationship with him to this day. And same with my mother. She, she's a soldier. She, was always there for me, right or wrong, never gave up on me, so that was a big deal. It's a big deal. Just to have family to support you and be around and be there for you when you're down, So
I do. I love that you're highlighting that. So it's funny because now that's another really personal thing that we share, because for me, I had the same thing where I had wonderful upbringing, wonderful family. When people had asked, how did you do it in recovery? The power of a praying mom has always been my quick answer when I don't have enough time to truly go into the details. So that's awesome to hear you say.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about, as you were growing up, when did you first have any exposure or maybe try a substance of some type?
Well, I think it started off with beer and marijuana, something like that. I was like 15. I was younger, sadly today there's kids a lot younger, being exposed.
For
you
sure.
know, and it's so, but yeah, 15, 16, just going out, hanging out, after school with some guys and having a couple of beers or here and there, smoking some pot. It was all fun and games at first, um, and then it kind of graduated to the harder stuff when I was a senior in high school. I played hockey and soccer and stuff like that, so my body was aching a lot. And, I wasn't really looking for anything, but it kind of fell on my lap through a friend. And hey, give this a try, And I didn't like it at first. I got sick. I was like, who wants to pay money for that, to get sick? And next time I tried it again, peer pressure got me, and I was hooked.
About how old were you at that time?
17, probably.
17. Okay, sure. And this was like opiates, painkillers.
Yeah,
Gotcha. So, what did that look like? Like once you realize, and it's funny how you said that you got a little sick too. Like, it's interesting how our experiences are not exactly wonderful in the beginning, but for some reason we still keep using it. Yeah. So what did it look like when you found like that you started increasing use?
Well, that would have been in my early 20s. I got my own place with a couple of friends from high school, and started having get-togethers, parties, and and that's when besides alcohol and the pot and the pills, there's cocaine, just whatever you got, give it a whirl, type deal. Eventually, I kind of was down to try whatever, just to see how it felt, see if it kind of got me in a different feeling, like a relax, because I was always nervous, kind of. I had anxiety a lot, so yeah.
So it was almost like a self-medication in a way. It sounds like you were using recreationally because it was fun, but then it was also self-medicating.
True.
And it's interesting. I have a dear friend in recovery that when he's sharing, his story, says, yeah, my drug of choice was here, try this, like where we get to a point that we're willing to try anything just because. Yeah. So when did you acknowledge that there was a turning point where it started becoming a problem versus just experimentation and maybe a little self-medication?
I'd say in my 24, 25, I was getting into trouble because I didn't have a lot of money financially. You can't afford like a $100 a day fix, and that's pretty much where I was when I got to my mid-20s. I mean, I started off with Percocets and moved my way. Actually, OxyContin was a really big thing back in the early 2000s type deal. So I was kind of riding that ship, and it was just it was hell. It was I used to cop, and when I'd get them, I'd think to myself, this is gonna kill me, and I knew it. And I knew it in my head. I was like, one of these days, this thing's gonna kill me. Right. I still did it. I still went and looked for it.
It's interesting to hear you say that too, because I find that when I talk to people that had, kind of similar upbringings like us, where, we were taught right from wrong, right? And it's like we knew this isn't the right thing to do. And yet the obsession and compulsion to use, it just is louder than that voice of reason. Yeah. Did you find that did you ever try to stop on your own?
Yeah, that wasn't happening. I would had to be locked in a room and you throw away the key, because I'm still going to try to find a way out of that room,
right.
So, but I couldn't do it by myself. I couldn't do it the first time. I couldn't do it the second time. I mean, I've had numerous chances to actually just do it the right way, do the 12-step program, or do, just anything different, something different, because it's the same thing doesn't work, something just, it's insanity. That's pretty much the definition to me, is like when you keep going back to something that isn't good for you, that eventually is going to get the best of you, but you just keep going back, keep getting knocked down, get back up. So.
It's funny how you say that too, because I remember hearing that in the rooms of recovery. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. And I remember kind of thinking my own version of it was, for me, the insanity was doing the same thing over and over, knowing the result is going to suck worse probably, and still doing it. And that's how, it grips us. Yeah. So what did you encounter that when you decided that you wanted to, get off this train, right? Get off the merry-go-round. What did you encounter that you found helpful?
Well, kids, it's hard. I had a very bad toxic relationship with my first daughter's mother. We used a lot together, and pretty much that's really what our relationship just became, was using together. So my daughter was like everything to me, but at the same time, I had a lot of a cloudy head, and when we didn't work out, I kind of, instead of like being like, okay, I'm gonna use that to like get better, I'm gonna like, things got worse, because I ran to my drug of choice and was like, help me, help me like get through this, which it didn't help, it just made things worse. Institutions, jails, and it could have been death at one point. I've been hit with Narcan, came back. Stuff works pretty good if you ask me. It saves lives for sure.
Tell me what you ended up doing, the steps that you took to get yourself to a place of the recovery journey that you've been on since you've found some success.
Okay. Well, certainly couldn't do it by myself. I had to really have like, I was stubborn, and, I hope my kids aren't as stubborn as I am, but, I just had to have a lot of help. And at the end of the day, I had to do it for myself before I could do it for anybody else.
Right.
And that's, and I haven't beat it by any means. I never think that I'm an addict. I'm always going to be an addict. And it's day by day, it's hour by hour, it's minute by minute, every day with me. And it does, not gonna lie, things do cross my mind. Hey, cold beer wouldn't be bad after work, but then that's gonna lead me to the next thing and the next thing. So I already know that my mind's gonna play tricks on me. It's been doing it for almost 40 years, so but yeah, it took a lot of support. And then it finally took me to just break down and say, you know what? Why do I keep doing this to myself? I'm gonna, eventually, and I rather hurt myself than anybody else. So it really took my mind to say, you know what? I'm done hurting my family. I'm done hurting people that love me. I want to try to do something else,
I love that. And it's funny because I've heard people say, you can't do it for anybody else. You have to do it for yourself. I do agree with that to a degree, that to maintain successful recovery, we got to want it for ourselves too. But sometimes to have enough desire to want to even try, it's because we love people. And it sounds like, you mentioned your daughter, your family, like those were good drivers for you to decide you want to make this change, and not just make the change to put it down, right? Because that's what I tell a lot of people I help today. Stopping is the easy part, believe it or not. It's staying stopped that isn't. So, and you had mentioned too about you had gone to a residential facility at some point. Mm-hmm. What was that experience like? Do you feel like you learned some things that helped you to maintain your recovery nowadays?
For sure. It was a long-term facility. It was about a year program. I didn't complete it because I was there for over a year, but you're not supposed to have relationships and stuff there. And after a year of being alone, I started feeling like I wanted some kind of like companion, So that was a no. And I was warned, no, you can't have a relationship. And then I had gotten caught seeing that same person like in town. And then I knew, they were going to scold me for that one. So I ended up getting kicked out of the program. But at the end of the day, it pulled me up on my behaviors, on like certain things that I didn't realize I was doing or whatever. And it helped me a lot. Yeah. It helped me just understand that I'm not alone. There's a lot of people out there that also are trying to do the same thing, that are succeeding, and their lives are getting better. And that taught, and it showed me through there, because when I first got in that door, I was a wreck. I had just finished doing the last of my stuff, and because once again, my stubborn me didn't want to change until the last second, until you're forcing me, you're pushing me through that door. But it helped me a lot. It did, and I saw like what I meant is like I was a mess, but I wanted what the person that had been there for 3 months had already.
Right.
oh, you've been here for 6 months. Look at you. You look great. You look happy. Generally, like you're doing great. And that's what I wanted eventually for myself. So I could try to, at least somewhat live a normal life and be there for my kids,
So it sounds like that gave you a lot of good tools to take into that you can still use in your life today.
Sure.
And so when you look at your life today and you reflect back on, how long ago was it when you feel like you finally committed to your recovery and you've done well, and what's happened in that time, what does that look like?
Well, you're looking at it because I feel better. I've been told I look a lot better. I'm a totally different person than what I was, and so when you're using, I guess your mind's cloudy. Your judgment, your decisions are obviously in the wrong spot there, and I don't have those negative thoughts in my head anymore. Like I had enough time, thankfully, because of the support. Like I said, you could have locked me in a room. I would try to find my way out. I'm very stubborn, but all in all, I don't have a cloudy head. I do right now. I can't even answer the question, but all in all, my life's a 360 turnaround. And it only happened because I had the support.
Right.
It only happened because I didn't do it myself. I had to have somebody literally pretty much drag me to places, and people, places, things keep me away from things like that as well. I had to get rid of my phone. I had to move to a different town a half hour away. You know what I mean? I just had to do a bunch of things that myself, I would have been content staying where I was at, because I was just in that mode of destruction, because my daughter, like I said, means so much to me. And the fact that our relationship was toxic, didn't work out. It just, I had two choices to make. And at the time I was using. So it's like, my choice was like, okay, I'm never going to get to see her now. Destruction, like I don't care what happens to me anymore, because, the life isn't fair type deal, which isn't true. I just made a bad choice of not getting help when I needed, and just continuing to go down the wrong path. And
Right.
but I guess your question was how it is now. Well, it's a 360 turnaround. I get to see my kids. I get to wake up next to them. I get to go and just enjoy my life, and I don't even think about going down that path anymore, because I think about using here and there, but I know I can't go down that path is what I'm trying to say, because I'll lose everything, and I don't want to hurt anybody else. You know what I mean? So my life is just a 360 turnaround. I'm a totally different person than what I was. I wasn't awesome. A very nice person. I wasn't a nice person.
Yeah, we're usually not when we're using too. And I just, I love that. I know you're a musician, so that's something I'm going to get to in just a second here too. But I love that you have the family and that connection, that support, and that love, because that's such a key piece for those of us in recovery, that we have those safe, supportive connections.
Yes.
And I think, we're ending, our time for our interview, what I want to let our viewers know is that you are an amazing musician, and you're going to be doing now, is this an original song?
I just kind of wrote it and finished it up like a few months ago. And, when I started writing it and when I did finish it, I was in a bad place. I was, and I didn't have anything but that pen and paper. That's all I had. I was in a room I was in prison, and that's where I wrote it. And that's where it all came to me. It spewed out on the paper. Just El Natural. I don't know. I didn't know I had a talent, because I never had a chance to even go down that path. I was just too busy chasing the wrong things. So.
Well, I love how writing and music are so therapeutic for those of us in recovery. And I'm so excited that you're willing to share it. So I want to thank the viewers for watching this episode, and we're going to have Chris perform his song. And thank you for being on the show, Chris. You truly are a shining
Thanks
light.
for having me.
Keep
Thanks
up
for
the
the
great
opportunity and the invite. And I'd love to come back.
You got it. We're going to do a Where Are They Now series at some point too. So thank you for coming on the show. We'll see everybody next time on Recovery Rockstar.
And I don't wanna live this way. Been ducking this stormy weather. And I don't wanna feel this pain. I'm thinking that it's now or never. I don't wanna be insane. I pray this don't last forever. I really need to make this change and break these chains. God, it's now or never.
My eyes open, feet hit the floor. You're still on my mind from my dreams the night before. I'm not sure if I'm even awake. As I reach for the door, my hand begins to shake. For God's sake, tell me that this is fake. Tell me I didn't go and make another mistake. It's too late. Damn, I've been here before. Don't get better, it starts from the floor till 4:15. About the time she hits the ceiling. An addict drunk is addicted to numbing his feelings. Erratic sums it up. There's no time for healing. To make it through his day, a pain pill for dealing. To make it through his night, the same thing. He's killing himself in every way, shape, form. He's willing. You would think the birth of his little girl would thrill him. It did, but his emotions was too cold from venom. The venom.
And I don't wanna live this way.
Been ducking this
stormy weather. And I don't wanna feel this pain.
I'm
Thinking that it's now or never. And I don't wanna be insane. I pray it don't last forever. I really need to make this change and break these chains. God, it's now or never.
My eyes closed. Nightmares, I'm right back to this empty prescription bottle and hollow pint of Jack. This painful state of mind, it happens all the time. I've got a little girl reading between the lines. I've got a lot to live for, keep telling myself that. Another line of coke at that fucking heart attack. Another shot of dope and I'd be laying on my back, choking on my vomit, and that's gonna be that. This pain in my stomach, I keep running from it. Keep telling myself that I can rise above this. I'm lovesick. This quick fix, it's bullshit. This slick trick, I blocked out. Wall of brick. This fine print from time spent trying to vent. I've lost friends and I burned money from end to end. I chanced love, found drugs, then handcuffs. I'm no saint, my body aches from all this stuff. You can't brush it off. Past the mixing sauce, I need some shit on my chest. And it ain't coming off without this alcohol. Then I mix it with Adderall. Sometimes I wonder if I'm better off not living at all.
And I don't wanna live this way.
Been ducking
This
this.
stormy weather. And I don't wanna feel this pain. I'm thinking that it's now or never. And I don't wanna be insane. I pray it don't last forever. I really need to make this change and break these chains. God, it's now or never.
Live free. This world you can grasp. Always live for the day. Tomorrow will soon pass. Never live for the moment. A moment goes by fast. In a blink of an eye, you can be living in your past. Never settle for last. Always aim for best. Nevertheless, you can lie your head and rest. Knowing you gave it your all, you put yourself to the test. There's no failure in trying, it's the only way to progress. Climbing to success. Sometimes we fall, dust yourself off. And when you stand tall and just remember, the matter of it all, you can overcome any obstacle, large or small. Let me retort, shoot, I've been through it all. I reached the top, mastered all the alcohol, problems with the law. Of course it's my fault. Soon as I opened the wound, you know I asked for the salt. As soon as I entered the room, tension rose quick. My girl was fed up, grabbed the keys and split. I admit, there was times I was wrong, taking shit for granted when deep down all along I couldn't understand it. It's not like I planned this, things turn for the worse. But I'll be god darned if I leave this earth without settling this curse. Addiction can be a, but my daughter comes first. Her mother can throw a fit. It's nothing I haven't heard. My advice to you, two simple words. Live free. Free as a bird, there's no boundaries, we're only human, of course we get hurt. People will say words, react and then learn. Bridges will burn, another page to turn. Mountains may crumble, buildings they can collapse, but there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Remember that, live free.
And I don't wanna live this way, been stuck in this stormy weather. And I don't wanna feel this pain, I'm thinking that it's now or never. And I don't wanna be insane, I pray this don't last forever. I really need to make this change and break these chains. God, it's now or never. And I don't wanna live this way, been stuck in this stormy weather. And I don't wanna feel this pain, I'm thinking that it's now or never. And I don't wanna be insane, I pray this don't last forever. I really need to make this change and break these chains. God, it's now or never.
People say words, react, then learn. Bridges will burn, another page to turn. Mountains may crumble, buildings they can collapse, but there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Remember that and live free. Thank you.